What's up, everybody? Welcome to a Thursday edition of The Squeeze. I am Tyler Conium. Lots to talk about this morning, first and foremost. So let's just start with the bets, right? Because that's what we're all here for. Officially a 1-1 day yesterday. The Toronto Blue Jays and Chicago White Sox was rained out. That game was postponed, so that bet was voided. We got correct Charlotte or a draw against NYCFC. That was a bit of a sweat. Charlotte was winning that soccer game until the 84th minute. New York tied it, but luckily it ended in a draw, so we cashed that bet. And then a bit of an annoyance. We had the Angels and the Padres to go over 8.5. That line closed at 8. So on the day, the overall day, I finished in the positive for closing line value, but that game alone was 6.4% lost on CLV. It closed at 8. The game finished 5-3. It would have been a push, so a little bit annoying, but that's okay, because if you follow me on all these social platforms that I'm going to about to get to in a minute, overall we had essentially a 3-unit win day, because I added the Dallas Wings plus 14.5. They only lost by 7 against Vegas. We added the Minnesota Lynx to win by 1.5. They won by 7, that one. And we had Alec Marsh of the Kansas City Royals to have over 4.5 strikeouts. He finished with 5, and that one. So the only bet that I lost yesterday was the Angels and the Padres, which now leads me into sort of the changes that are coming a little bit here. I talked about it briefly yesterday about we're just ramping this up. Like, it's go time. Like, let's go. Let's make a run at this a little bit. So the first thing is that the Discord is now live. It is in the link in the description below. The overlay that you see with the TikTok and the Instagram might change because the focus is going to change a little bit. So the Discord is live. The link is in the description below. I'm going to be posting. So when I make my bets, you're going to see the video. Today is Thursday. I'm recording this at 9:23 in the morning. This will be up in about an hour, and you'll see that. But I place my bets the night before, and I've noticed doing that the night before at 10 or 11 p.m. Eastern Time, I tend to have positive closing line value, which is always good. Those picks are going to go in the Discord channel right away. So if you want to make those bets the night before, you don't want to wait for the breakdown, all that sort of thing, that's going to go in the Discord, first and foremost. When the other picks I make, everything is going to be posted there first. So everything's still going to be free. Everything's going to go on Twitter. I've also signed up for Threads, which is the new Facebook, Instagram, Twitter alternative, which seems to be really interesting. People are jumping on that quite quickly. So we're going to be focusing on Discord. We're going to be focusing on Threads. Twitter is still going to be there. TikTok, I posted TikTok yesterday. I don't know. It's all a work in progress to see what works best for each avenue to sort of cover all the bases. Instagram doesn't seem to lend itself very well to sports betting. It's just, I don't know. Maybe I'm just not using it in the correct way, but definitely get in the Discord because we can chat about the bets. We can talk about the bets. You can post your plays, which is good, and just create a community there that's not necessarily Twitter. It's a nice place to hang out. You could join all these different Discords as well and just always sort of be in the conversation. So that's first and foremost. Everything's going to go there first. I'm also going to be posting. People don't seem to believe me when I say I will give you a free minimum deposit to put into a sports book and bet. I will give you $20 or $25 depending on the book. I will give it to you. I will send it to you by transfer. But people think that that's crazy and they don't believe it. I will do that. And all those books are going to be, there's going to be a specific Discord sub-channel category, whatever they call it, as I'm just getting used to it. That's going to be in there as well, okay? Where you can sign up for those right away. You can just go boom, 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 and it's nice and easy, okay? So those changes are coming. We're going to be talking about those things as we go. And let's just start talking about the bets today. I've rambled on enough. You're here for the bets. I've talked for 4 minutes, so let's get into it. We're going to start in Major League Baseball. We're starting in Cleveland. It's Jordan Lyles Day, so we've got the Kansas City Royals visiting the Cleveland Guardians. The Royals are brutal, as we know. They have a winning percentage of .287. Cleveland is under 500. They haven't been great either. They are 6-4 in their last 10 games playing against the Kansas City Royals. Kansas City in their last 10 games is 3-7. Cleveland coming in their last 10, they're 5-5. Kansas City is also absolutely brutal on the run line. So we're taking the Cleveland Guardians here ,1.5. You're getting plus money on this. It's plus 104 at FanDuel. Jordan Lyles comes into this game on the road with a record of 1-5 and an ERA of 8.02. He's 1-11 on the season. Then you look for Cleveland. You've got Tanner Beebe going today. At home this year, he's 3-1 with a 2.38 ERA. That's across 12 starts. He's been absolutely phenomenal at home. His last start out, he just went 5 2/3 against the Cubs. It was shutout baseball. Previous to that, he went 6 innings against Milwaukee. He gave up 1. He did have a rocky start a while ago against San Diego. Went 4 innings, gave up 6. But at home, again, against Milwaukee, he gave up 1 run. Previous to that, against Boston, he gave up 1 run. And then previous to that, against St. Louis, he gave up 1 run. Jordan Lyles in his recent starts, he has given up 4, 3, 5, 5, 5, 4, 7. You know the story. Cleveland Guardians on the run line, plus 104 at FanDuel. Moving to Detroit, we've got the Oakland Athletics. They're visiting the Detroit Tigers, and I like the over in this game. This number is set at 8.5. You're getting this for minus 110 at DraftKings. So coming into this series, Oakland is 8-2 to the over in their last 10 games. Detroit is 7-2-1 to the over in their last 10 games. You look at recent matchups. So this is the third game of the series. There were 15 runs yesterday. In the first game of the series, there was only 1. Previous to that, Detroit was in Colorado. There was 25 runs. There was 6, there was 13, there was 12, 12, 11, 9, and 9. They're going over like crazy. You look at Oakland, 15, of course, the 1-0. Previous to that, there were 15 runs, 13, 11, 14, 11. Like, they're losing, and they're getting absolutely rocked, okay? Hogan Harris is starting today for Oakland, and on the road, he's 1-0, but he's got an ERA of 5.52. He's got an overall ERA of 5.17, so, it's not like he's all that great anyways. Michael Lorenzen is starting for Detroit this season. He's 2-6. He's got an ERA of 4.28, and at home, that's 4.18. So even just between the two starters, you're looking at possibly 8 runs there. And then when you get into the bullpens of these two teams, you look at the relievers. The relievers for Oakland have an ERA of 6.14. The relievers for Detroit, 4.59. Right? Overall, Oakland's got a team ERA of 6. Detroit in an overall ERA of 4.51. Not great. WHIP of 1.55 for Oakland. They're just absolutely terrible. I think you're going to see a lot of runs here. This is an early start. This is a 1 p.m. start today, which is a bit different for Thursday. So jump on that early. I think you're just going to see a bunch of runs in this one. It's a getaway day. So give me the Oakland A's and Detroit Tigers over 8.5 runs for minus 110 at DraftKings. And then our last bet of the day, we move to the Canadian Football League. You've got the 0-4 Edmonton Elks visiting the 2-1 Saskatchewan Roughriders. I'm surprised this line is where it is. It's minus 7.5. I would like 7. If you can get 6.5 somewhere, you might even want to pay the juice on that. But I still think that the Saskatchewan Roughriders cover this. They're coming into this 2-1 ATS this season. Edmonton is 0-4 against the spread this year. Edmonton just lost 26-7 to Ottawa. They've lost 43-31 to Toronto, 22-0 to BC, and then the one game where they did keep it a little bit close was week 1, ironically against Saskatchewan at home, 17-13. I think Saskatchewan's a much different team than they were in week 1. They're coming off a 29-26 overtime win against Calgary. They did lose to Winnipeg, but most people lose to Winnipeg. And then, as mentioned, they beat Winnipeg in week 1 by 4. I just think they have a little bit too much firepower. When you look at the matchup today, the Elks have lost 3 games in a row, and in the last 3 games, they've lost them by an average of 20 points. Again, the only one being the season opener where it was a little bit close. Edmonton has also gone back to Taylor Cornelius as their starting quarterback, which, he hasn't really played all that well. Edmonton Elks are just a bad team. I think the Riders are going to have a bit of a coming out party. They haven't really shown who they are just yet, having only played 3 games. They've had an early bye. There's just no reason to trust Edmonton. There's no reason to think that they can win this football game, and I just don't think Saskatchewan's going to keep it particularly close. They have great home field advantage, so I'm taking the Saskatchewan Roughriders minus 7.5 for minus 110 at DraftKings. The QR code here and the link in the description, you can sign up for one of the books that I've mentioned today, DraftKings or FanDuel. Make a minimum deposit and you're guaranteed the best exclusive offers and bonuses thanks to my partnership with BetStamp and with these books. Lots of links in the description, lots to get to. The best place to find me right now is Discord. That link is there, but you can still find me on Twitter, you can still find me on Threads, you can still find me on TikTok and Instagram as we figure this out. But your official plays for today, give me the Cleveland Guardians on the run line for plus 104 at FanDuel. Give me the Oakland A's and the Detroit Tigers to go over 8.5. That's minus 110 at DraftKings. And give me the Saskatchewan Roughriders to cover the spread, -7.5 or -110 at DraftKings. Drop a comment if you're fading or following. As always, you can follow me somewhere for more picks and props throughout the day. Your audio is on Apple and on Spotify. Have a great Thursday, and let's just keep on talking sports.